Is it over?
No, I haven't pressed end stream, but Golden, you.
End the stream. I gotta go watch
Nope.
the Blood Beast.
Oh, Golden, you can go. You can go. I just want to stay and answer some questions.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can answer questions. Later feet. Thank you, Paleo. Two paleontologists.
Wow.
Dean McLeod says, worst stream ever, 4 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
That's how Godzilla fans rate things. Thank you for the £2, Kaiju fan 1954. Yo, it's Crunk Scringly. Crunk Scribbly will never perish.
If Godzilla did exist, what would he actually look like?
Probably a bit smaller, really, because, square cube law and all that.
Yeah, if Godzilla did exist, he could not exist. The biggest he would be like a mosasaur size.
Spams you with image of Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus.
Who would win, Godzilla or Russian bias? I understand that's a War Thunder meme, because Russia is so horribly unbalanced in War Thunder. Russian bias. They'd find Gaijin would find a way to code it that way.
What was the PlayStation plane game that had Godzilla in it randomly for a bit?
Yeah, Ace Combat Infinity. I think Project Aces, which is the developer of the Ace Combat series, could probably do a kaiju versus military game. I think they could legitimately do it really well.
Who's Godzilla Rex? Someone asking, are you going to make a kaiju profile on Godzilla Rex? Do you mean Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex? I don't think there's enough...
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's going to get, a new one, this year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, he is? There's going to be a...
Maybe? I don't remember what I heard. I just assumed there was going to be another one. Because because we're getting the Jet Jaguar one.
Oh, no,
I was assuming we're going to get another one also.
Oh, I guess you're right. I mean, we'll just have to see. And...
Although, because we're actually getting a Godzilla film this year, I could see them skipping doing that.
This would be the one. This maybe it'd be like taking a break each year where there isn't something.
What would happen if Sonic met Godzilla? I mean, there's both a comic about that and 2 episodes of the Sonic X series that does that. There's Sonic X adapts Atragon? Yeah, I think it's Atragon, but then also Mothra and Mogera show up.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how both of them appear.
And then you have one of the actors come back from Atragon, I think, and playing the same character he did. So
I still want the Gotengo to reappear in something. Its appearance in Super Starfleet, the movie, was really cool, and I like how they gave it the final kill shot because it gets to use the absolute zero cannon on the final opponent. But I think it deserves a return to the franchise somewhere.
I'm hoping one of the mods for Godzilla Unleashed that are being worked on, because I know some of them are still trying to add new characters, even though Overhaul has given up on that. I hope they just make Gotengo a playable character, because it kind of works with hacking, but not really. So I'm just make it work.
Wait.
Fix it.
Overhaul gave up on adding new characters?
For Unleashed. Because they couldn't figure out on Unleashed. Save the Earth, they've said publicly they've kind of figured it out. They've already advertised 2 versions of Gigan, so yeah, they've pretty much figured it out. But
That's
with
awesome.
Unleashed, they were we can't figure it out, but other people are trying to figure it out. They're more specifically trying to figure out how to get PS2 Bactra in the Wii version, because he exists in the files of the Wii version, but doesn't work.
Oh.
So that's what they're trying to figure out. And then after that, we could figure out how to add new slots, probably.
I've been sleeping on my Dylan Rocket subscription. I didn't see that Batra was in the files of the Unleashed for Wii.
It was one of the devs of because I think it's less than nothing. I think it's the file name is the same, but it's an empty file. But it's the slot exists, but it also doesn't. It's that type of situation.
So, Darth Lord 1997 says, my big question is, why is this film set it's set after, but in World War II. Shin Godzilla was topical over the tsunami and the collateral damage, but what purpose would setting this movie serve? Curious.
World War II
It's
messed a lot of
traumatic.
things up.
Yeah, it was a horror. Like even, I mean, well, I was going to say even in Japan, but especially in the case of Japan, the aftermath of World War II was highly traumatic. And it was traumatic all over the world for a multitude of different reasons that we'd be here for years to explain. I think this film is probably going to be analogous to kind of the sense of trauma that the nation had after World War II, just the complete destruction of the economy, of the war machine, of everyday life, essentially, in the face of insurmountable odds. It's, I reckon it could be perhaps an analogy for kind of that sort of thing.
And it's a period piece, which those can be made at any time.
And also like IDW Godzilla's putting them against pirates right now.
Yeah.
So,
Someone.
I mean, hey, I still think a feudal Japanese era Godzilla film would be quite fun.
Didn't Rage Against Time do that? Oh, it used a film. I'm stupid. I'm sorry.
I mean, Rage Against Time did do that for the plot. That was pretty cool. I quite liked that one.
Someone asked about where to play Save the Earth Melee. Literally, just search Save the Earth Melee or Save the Earth Overhaul. I forget which it was called when it was released, but there's both a Discord server for it. I don't have the link for it, but if you look in the description of their videos, it's there.
Oh yeah, and someone asked earlier, have you heard about the Godzilla and Gamera crossover? But it's a mobile game. Yeah, we made a short about it.
Yeah.
Check out the shorts section of the channel. Let's see.
Yeah.
Who...
I'm very excited about what it could potentially mean. I know it's it could be all of nothing because I think Ultraman's in Battle Line also, but
and Evangelion and Kamen Rider, but those are part of the Shin Japan Heroes universe.
Yeah, so to see Gamera appear now is very interesting as a franchise which isn't part of the crossover.
Add Hanuman.
Yeah, and then Chayo can come along and bootleg the game and copyright it.
So here's it, because I was thinking about I was doing a lot of research on Hanuman's literally a figure in Hinduism. Yeah. And even their design, that's based off of artwork that's in the equivalent of the public domain. They don't own Hanuman. Yeah. Anyone could make a Hanuman kaiju movie. We just don't, because it'd be disrespectful to an entire religion.
It's the thing that's hilarious is if Subaraya Productions really wanted to, they could bring him back at any time, and there is nothing Chayo could do about it.
Yeah. Thank you for the $2, King of the Monsters 2021. Would Godzilla Minus One get a sequel? Again, I think tonally, it's too early to tell. Tonally, I don't think it's going to get a direct follow-up with what it seems to be about. There's definitely going to be another Godzilla movie after it. I don't think we're going to get back into annual releases for Godzilla, but I think there's going to be something cooking at least a few months after it comes out.
Yeah.
You ever do a Showa Gamera kaiju profile? That's a lot.
Big.
Yeah, that's the same reason we haven't done Showa Godzilla. It's he has less films, but it's still a lot.
Yeah, and we see the problem is we gotta start looking into research into the books and start translating and transcribing stuff, and that we're doing that right now with Megaguirus, and we're in a bit of a rut, so that's why we haven't gotten it.
Shorts all the time.
We haven't gotten Megaguirus out yet, but yeah, that's where we're stuck on.
John Velasquez says, perhaps Cooper played War Thunder at some point. If so, what nation did he main? I main Arcade Air with the United Kingdom, but I am also currently working on expanding the Japanese tree, which is how I know quite a bit about the sort of aircraft that would appear in this film.
I had the dumbest, when you said expanding the Japanese tree, I had the dumbest thought entered my head. Because as soon as you said that, I was thinking about the little trees.
The bonsai, yeah, just
Yes.
expanding. Yeah.
like that was the word association that appeared in my head.
Yeah, I'm just pouring growth hormone on my Japanese tree all day.
Just making it a normal tree.
Yeah, my room is being colonized by a cherry tree right now. Please help me. I'm being crushed against the window.
Yes. We did see some comments about doing a Showa Mogera profile. If we do Mogera, it's going to be both. It's going to be Showa and the Space Godzilla Mogera, because if we just talk about one and not the other, we're never going to talk about the other one.
Yeah, it's just like
we're gonna... Does Godzilla -1 drink diet or regular soda?
God.
Regular. Oh yeah. So.
Mandamar, I am planning to do some Halloween streams. I'm also trying to brainstorm what we can do for a Halloween stream here, because none of the Godzilla NES fan games have updated. So I don't just want to stream the same thing here. So I came up with some ideas, but all of them have drawbacks. So yeah, -1 is super expressive. They do a good job with that.
Yeah, it is kind of neat, and like his body language as well is very very animated. He's not quite as expressive as Kiryu Godzilla is, but he's up there, I'd say, in like the list of most expressive incarnations.
I like the shot of Kiryu Godzilla where it looks like he stepped on a Lego. His eyes get really big.
And I think one of the most understated ones is Godzilla 2000, when he sees Orga opening his mouth and he just reels back like, what on earth is that?
It's a really good...
Yeah, it's like a realistic reaction to seeing that happen.
And I'm not confirming when we'd get it done. I did write a draft for a Gigan profile, and then we had to immediately put it away when it was announced he was going to be in Gamera Rebirth. And it's like, well, we got to wait now.
Speaking of which, I really like his redesign. It's a nice update. His whole head's the blade instead of just the top of it.
He reminds me of the Trendmasters Gigan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, someone earlier had said Norbit Kaiju profile, and I completely agree.
Oh, Mandamar, I don't mean like it has drawbacks, and it's just like they're like, for instance, one of the ideas I had, because it has giant monsters in it, it was like, well, there's Michigan Report from Hell, but it's really gory, even though it's silly, and I don't know if this audience would appreciate that.
It's like the voice acting in it is legendary, and it would make it fun, but the gore, although it's PS2 gore standards, it might creep a few people out in the wrong way.
And then I was thinking Dino Crisis, because it is just Resident Evil with dinosaurs, but then I was like, but dinosaurs aren't kaiju, and we've had this argument 100 different times. So I guess if I got Bug Island for the Wii working.
I mean, Earth Defense Force could be a fun thing to do at some point as well.
That's a good point. But I don't know if that's hollow. I guess the spider levels.
Yeah, or insect. There's one which is specifically the insect something. Forget the name of it. I've got it in my Steam library. I'll just dig it out.
But Escape from Bug Island, that's one that's been on my idea to stream, because it is just like a Monster Island thing. It's definitely a tribute to 50s B movies. But I'm also certain it started as a King Kong game. I'm certain of it because the final boss is a gorilla in a game called Escape from Bug Island. I'm so certain. Crystal Lake and Obsidious profiles. I wrote a draft for Crystal Lake and Obsidious as well as the Sphinx. I don't know if we ever get around to that, because we have so many more relevant kaiju to cover. I hate to say that. I love Godzilla Unleashed, but
Yeah.
it's like there are other things happening. It's not a dormant franchise anymore. It's like we get new news like every couple days. It's yeah, and we know about the Godzilla NES creepypasta. We played last Halloween. We played the game, not the actual. It was a fan game. Yeah, but
What's poppin'?
when we stream Voxel Wars, I was thinking it. We're
That would
definitely
be
gonna
fun.
stream.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
definitely
sure.
gonna stream the I definitely want to stream the Kong game when it comes out.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that looks brilliant. The
Like,
amount
I'm
of
buying
great
that-
faces in it.
I'm buying that day one. Like that is one of the few video games like I'm excited for. Like I would normally be excited for the new Spider-Man, but I don't want to buy a PS5 because that's the only game I want on it. Fortnite Monsters Kaiju Profile.
It
Look,
is
if they add Godzilla skins to Fortnite, I will try to convince everyone else to do a Fortnite stream.
Oh my god.
It is indeed a great time to be a Tokusatsu and Kaiju fan because we do have tons of content. Because that's the thing. There's been an update on the release window for the Monarch series, and that's coming out this November as well. They've decided to move it into November to not necessarily compete, but coexist with Minus One, which is going to be interesting.
Thank you for the $2, King of the Monsters 2021. Is the Suicide Squad a kaiju film? Gunn thinks so. So I love the Suicide Squad. I love that James Gunn's version of it. I had a lot of fun with it. I wouldn't call it a kaiju film. I would call it a film with a kaiju in it, which is like a very like nominal difference. But it's certainly not about a kaiju attack, which I think is what a kaiju movie needs to be. It's in this way like I wouldn't call Power Rangers, like the most recent one, a kaiju movie. I would call it a movie with a kaiju in it for their version of Goldar. But I wouldn't call the whole thing a kaiju film. FNAF is not a kaiju game. I think there is a Five Nights at Goji's fan game. Hold on.
Crimson King Godzilla, here's your shout out.
Five Nights at Godzilla's all jump scares. It exists. No, this is someone playing with toys.
It's beautiful.
Oh, there's a Game Jolt page. Found it.
FNAF is clearly a mecha game.
On a related note, the guy that's doing the Godzilla analog horror series is pretty cool, honestly.
I
If you
watched a
haven't
little
checked
bit.
it out yet, if you guys in the chat haven't checked it out yet, I recommend doing so. I'm trying not to sound like I don't like it because I do. I think it's pretty cool. Is it the best analog horror I've seen? I've seen better, but honestly, it's pretty good. So I recommend it.
I mean, I don't think that's saying anything bad about it to say that you've seen better. It is a very saturated genre online at this point. There's a lot of things. That's like me being like, oh, I like The Burning, but there are better slasher movies. Like, of course there are better slasher movies.
I mean, the main premise is something I like because it is doing something different compared to so many other analog horror ones, which are just, oh yeah, aliens exist and people are being stolen. Oh look, there's demons. There's demons in the church. Oh no. And oh, the demons are aliens? Yes. And there's a spooky storm with a face in the sky, like that hasn't been done a million times before.
Yeah. Someone asked about what we thought about Toku Professor. I've watched a bunch of Toku Professor's content. If Toku Professor's watching, thank you, because you do Ultraman kaiju profiles, so we can stop being asked to do them.
You fit into the niche we needed, and you do it very well.
Kaiju profile on Freddy Fazbear Win. That was funny.
It's like, hey, ability section, he appears in your face and you die.
He is
Or-
in your house.
And for the golden version, he crashes your game. You know?
No, I doubt Anguirus is gonna be in -1. Well, I mean, he might be. I mean, who knows? Maybe he is.
Like,
Maybe King
At this
Kong.
point, I'm hoping like there's a little background maquette or something. Because if this is Godzilla's first appearance in the timeline, they would be like, they're definitely gonna be like, oh, dinosaurs. I would love if there's a little like Anguirus maquette, like
Yeah.
sneak in the old maquette that was used for the original version of GMK that he was in. I found Manila's daps. Thank you for the $2, Godzilla. Germa
Cringe Baby
Kaiju
2.
profile.
Cringe Baby 2 says Gemma FNAF noise.mp3.
Germa could get a Kaijin profile.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I feel he's a very strange man.
Yeah, very quirky fellow.
We would do that one at the same time as the Norbit profile. My titties hit the horn.
Here's your shout out, Axolotl boy.
Godzilla versus the Mysterians should have happened, says Teddy O'Brien. I think it could. I think it would have been cool. I think the Mysterians are a underutilized alien race in the franchise. I think it could work.
It's been a while since I've watched Mysterians, but I remember that being like a very like kind of like social horror that of like their existence. Like it was very like human level, and like Mogera was just there. I don't know how they'd interact with Godzilla.
I mean, I guess maybe Mogera would kind of be more battle oriented, like design, like given more weapons, presumably. Although that's basically just the Heisei Mogera, really.
I want Godzilla to fight Gargantuas. He does in the comics, but
Yeah.
I liked him fighting both Gara and Sanda in the comics at once. So WikiZilla, whenever you tell us the next kaiju I will make a TikTok evolution. Thank you. We don't have a TikTok yet. Me and Titano have talked about it, but I also totally make a video a day there. So I worry about what doing 2 videos a day would do to my brain.
What's your thought on Gigan? I think Gigan is cool.
He's very cool. He's one of my favorites.
I think
Gigan
he's
is
like a
really
robot
good.
chicken.
So for work, we had like a contest. I don't remember why. It's like we have to design a rubber chicken, and I've designed a rubber chicken that looks like Gigan. I'm gonna see if I can get the
That's
image.
great.
I'll post it in Stream Talk. Yeah, there he is. It's a shitty, bad picture I took with my phone. I swear. Can't prove that.
What can't you?
And- yeah.
That
There it
is
is.
brilliant. I love it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's really cool. I like it.
It's for a contest. They haven't told us what the win condition is. They're like, it's like, oh, it's a contest. You win something. What do I win?
Oh, that is Gigan Poggers. You are completely right.
It is indeed.
Yeah, there will be a vid for -1 after the art book and bonus features come out. Gigan.
But yeah, for some reason, this incarnation of Godzilla, his fangs are all the way at the back of his teeth instead of at the front, which is kind of an interesting touch.
Does
Do
this
animals have that at all? Or do any animals have that? And if
Does-
there's a reason?
I mean, predators have carnassial teeth, but like they would usually have canines as well. Like there are.
Megalon leaves you mid-fight.
does does this Godzilla have any differentiated teeth at all?
I mean, he's got big teeth at the back, but most of them just seem to be kind of sharp.
Thank you for the $20. JX. If they made Godzilla this good, would you expect this company or studio to make great things making kaiju? You mean like other like if they would do other kaiju franchises. You mean? I would love to see. Honestly, I would love to see like because this is a very like I use the word realistic lightly. It's like very like grounded, I guess, take on Godzilla. I would love to see a Mothra that just looks straight up like a bug. Like like the part from SpongeBob where the butterfly gets in their face. I would love that.
Please read this, Cheems, enjoy it. Hey, WikiZilla, I just wanted to say keep up the great work. The first ever video I watched was the Shin Godzilla Kaiju profile. Like I said, keep up the good work. Great work.
Thank you.
Hey, nice. Absolutely, we will do our best.
Now you mean the Shin Godzilla video from 2017, or was it 2017 or was it
Redux or the original? Yeah.
I know it was before I got added to the crew because when I was testing to read, I had to read like a little section of that script to test it, if I remember.
Cyborg Chicken Pog?
It's gonna end up being a new emote for the channel.
You know what? That's actually a good idea.
That is actually a legitimately good idea. We need.
Should I take a better picture of it?
Yeah. So you see the. Let me put the. You see the icons here, the WikiZilla emoji. We can have all these normal kaiju, and then Gigan is just this.
Oh.
Now that's an incentive to join the channel as a member, to be able to use Gigan Pog emoji.
Poggin.
No, Poggin sounds too much like Boggin.
It's how I sneak Boggin into
I guess
everything.
GogChamp or
Oh,
GiganChamp or something.
CJ Velasquez, you're an hour late. We already talked about what we thought about the new Godzilla movie trailer. Right? We talked about that?
Yeah, I think we all said our opinion that we really liked it, and we all are very hopeful for it. And I'm happy that Japan movies are not considered struck work right now, because I would have not joined in the stream then, because I'm not a scab.
Oh.
Someone earlier said Gigan throat goat.
Oh my god.
Why did you have to say that?
I don't know. My brain malfunctions.
Bye monetization.
Damn it.
Too little, too late, hero.
Oh my god.
Everyone's coming up with some pretty good names for like the emoji.
I could not modify the chicken to have one eye. I just painted the whole thing red because it had a Sonic the Hedgehog eye cave, and I hoped for the best.
I'd say it's worked out great.
Gigan. Could there be a kaiju profile on Godzilla from Shinkalion?
That's the Snow Godzilla,
yeah,
right?
Snow Godzilla that appears for like 1 minute. I
You can get it short.
I just don't think
Get
there's
it
enough.
short.
And also, it's the same design as the Godzilla versus Gigan Rex one. It's reused the model. So
He says Gigan when Gigan.
We could just do a short on it because he technically fights Hatsune Miku in that scene,
Yeah.
which is the most insane part of it that no one mentions.
yeah, I guess short kaiju profiles. We got to come up with a good name for it. Mini kaiju.
Yeah, because we have to fit that within a minute. So.
And none of these monsters ever have stats or anything, so we don't need to worry about stat screens or anything.
It's just history, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that would be it. Just like, they're in this. They do this. Bye.
Now that you put it like that, that's not even worth the main channel. It's probably more like WikiZilla Extra.
Yeah. Or we could just do them in batches. We just do like a video where it's like we do like 10 of semi-related ones.
I suppose. Will you do a EVA 1 kaiju profile? No.
Yeah,
if they
not
ever
all
do an
of them.
actual versus Godzilla Evangelion, and then specifically only that movie's version.
Oh yeah, they made like a G Awakening version for the new Pachinko game.
Oh my god.
It's funny.
This trailer gave me excited violent diarrhea. Thank you, Parencatic.
Thank you, Pyrocantic. Very cool.
I like that we've given up the monetization.
Thanks for becoming a member, Atomic Crusader. You will have access to our lovely emojis, amongst
As
other
soon-
benefits.
As soon as I take a better picture of the chicken. And then I will have to take them into Photoshop. Will there be kaiju profiles on Godzilla from the comics? That's up to Titano, really. I would love to do comic-specific videos, but that's up to Titano. We have so many movies to cover, too, so... I would love to... I think it's going to become a short, but I love that Dark Horse only licensed Godzilla and nobody else, and I love they're just like, whatever, we'll do our own version of Mechagodzilla and made Cybersaur. I love that. I love that a lot.
Average Mayor says, I want someone to recreate the meme of the guy getting hit by a rocket football with -1, where Godzilla goes, oh damn, and the explosion goes off, and he goes, ah!
Oh damn!
Ah!
Someone messed Toku. Toku can do it. Toku says commissions are open.
Drop your portfolio.
Yeah, drop your editing portfolio. Like I
There's-
do editing too, but it's like Titano makes sure I match the style. Like most I do is rough cuts, and then Titano fixes it.
Not fixes it. It's just make it match the style. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn the style. I got it, and then you put out your version. I'm like, that looks so much better than mine.
Well, I wait.
Only ones I have.
I waste like an entire day on a 1-minute video, so I mean it's not a good use of time, but
Yeah, I think the only ones I have the style down for are the comic ones, and even they don't stick because it's a new one every month, so we can't keep them up. So
yeah.
people be like, especially when a year passes, people getting confused. It's ugh.
Oh, so for April Fool's videos, it's just whatever we decide in March,
At the last minute.
Yeah, what do we want to do? And it's just whatever idea sounds coolest, and then whatever ball gets rolling. So that's exactly what happened.
Charles Barkley was so fast. It was
And I edited, after Squid Hat provided his initial draft, I edited that one over while I was attending a wedding. So that's and the Muta one I edited while I was on a cruise. So it's no downtime.
I know I did the Gigan history when I was in Baltimore visiting my parents for.
Oh, we're always on that grind. That content.
We finished
grind.
that on Christmas Eve or Christmas Adam, one of those.
Yeah.
Because we got that out on Christmas.
Yeah. A Kaiju video on Christmas has been a tradition, except for last year, I think, where we couldn't do it because it wasn't ready. It was the Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah time travel that was meant to go on December 24th or 25th, but work wasn't. It hadn't progressed far along.
Low flying, whatever that is.
Yeah, it's just the fact of all of us both having jobs and a portion of us also having YouTube channels. Both Golden was getting a Christmas video out, I was getting a Christmas video out, and then we couldn't get the other thing done too. So.
Yep, indeed.
Have you ever considered the monsters from Dragon Wars for a profile? So
You mean Dakuru Mugi?
The goody moogie.
Hmm.
I,
Well,
I,
are they even on the wiki still?
I don't think so.
They
I
used to
think
be back when we had Fanzilla and stuff.
Yeah. So I think they got culled from this, like due to the scope rules or something.
Yeah, so
well,
anyone who ever asked for a kaiju profile, you need to. I'm gonna link it here. WikiZilla scope.
Yeah, make sure to check up on this first because it gives you a good idea of the sort of stuff we do.
like for instance, like this has been a short I've been meaning to pitch. I guess I'll just say it now. I want to talk about how Reptilicus 2 almost happened. But we have mentions of Reptilicus throughout the site, like on several pages, but we don't have a page for him. So it's like I don't know if I should even bother pitching this.
Is it red linked or is it just like not?
It just doesn't even have a red link.
Oh, then yeah,
Yeah, but like we have like 10 pages that like mention him and talk about him, but it's like, yeah, but no.
see. Heisei Gigan Kaiju profile that doesn't exist.
Unless we just count Godzilla Island. At Humble Squid, what is the meaning of life? Do your own thing.
Yeah, that's about right.
Godzilla probably 2.4 million calories. Oh, isn't a human like 100,000 calories? 2.4 million for Godzilla seems really low.
I don't want to end up on a list by searching human amount of calories.
About 125,822 calories. The heart clocks in at around 651 calories, while the brain, spinal cord, and nerve trunks collectively contain 2,706 calories. How many calories per pound? We're about 650 calories per pound, while a pound of meat from wild boars is around 1,800 calories per pound. So actually, we're not that nutritious, basically, compared to other things.
Wow.
That's why you get diseases if you eat people. That's why there's a whole set of diseases you get by eating people.
I still think the story, like the research they did into the tribe that practiced cannibalism, like funerary cannibalism, and how they were developing resistance to a prion, which essentially caused a condition similar to mad cow disease. That is one of the eeriest things.
I mean, it's the milk thing. It's the reason why some people aren't lactose tolerant. It's like, yeah, the people who don't have that immunity die. So
yeah, but like the thing that's the freakiest thing about it is when the scientists did like research into the genetics of the population that practiced it, they found that there was a genetic allele that was developing which gave them tolerance to eating human brains, and that's legitimately kind of horrifying.
Darth Lord, I'm gonna level with you. I hate the Ultimate Universe. I hate the Ultimate Universe so much. The only good thing to come out of the Ultimate Universe was Miles Morales. That was the only good thing. Like, I have to have knowledge that there is a universe in Marvel where Wolverine creeps on minors because of the Ultimate Universe.
He creeps on miners just like the Mega Nulon in Rodan 1956 when he attacks the mining town?
It reminds me of that one like tweet where they were going to say like relationships with a minor is illegal, but they spelt it minor like the profession. It's like, oh, what's the minor ever do to you? Question for God, why?
Why, SpongeBob?
Why? SpongeBob House Kaiju profile.
Oh, we'd have to have Squidward's house kaiju profile, not even Squidward's house.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the episode where he installs the defense system. That
No, we're not
into a
talking.
robot.
We're not talking about that. We know what that will cause.
Wow.
We know what it will beget.
Mama Mega Gears. Gotcha. Monster House Kaiju Profile.
Honestly, good film, but not in our scope.
Also, Average Man he asked what our thoughts were on the previous Yamazaki Godzilla designs. I really like the Godzilla the Ride design when it first came out. It's like, oh wow.
Oh yeah, I think it's very cool. It's got a nice blend of Showa and Heisei, I would say, but obviously it does a lot of things unique, which works very well, I would say.
I've wanted a movie with a similar design since I first saw the Always clip.
Absolutely, yeah.
That one was more based on the GMK Godzilla.
Yeah, but still, it's like there's vibes. It gets the vibes.
You have any?
That one's specifically based off of a GMK garage kit, isn't it?
I think so.
Godzilla in Hell is cool.
Godzilla in Hell is very cool.
Well,
Yeah.
there was like a weak issue in there. I don't remember which one.
I mean, I like the Thing homage with the doppelganger demon, where it looks like Godzilla, but then it just opens itself up and keeps opening until it becomes like its own separate thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I called him Surprise Spaghetti when he first appeared.
Yeah.
The issue with the Destoroyah and King Ghidorah visages.
That was a bit weak.
Yeah, it's because it's just fighting fake monsters, and nothing happens. I don't
Really
really
just casually introduce like Yog Sohoth in the final one though with the Gate Guardian.
There is a whole thing though. I think Matt Frank said this a while ago on his Tumblr. Someone asked about like Godzilla fighting just actual Lovecraft monsters like Cthulhu, and he was just like, Toho said no. Like they did ask, like, can Godzilla fight Cthulhu at some point, and Toho was like, no.
I wonder why not.
I think this was when they were really hard on no crossover.
Oh, they might want to repropose that then.
Yeah, I think if I'm remembering, I think someone also sent him an ask about a Doctor Who crossover possibility.
I would be so up for that.
And like he responded also with the Toho says no crossovers. It's not even worth pitching.
I think that the main barrier for a crossover between like Godzilla and the Cthulhu mythos is just the sheer size of the latter. It would be. I certainly don't think it's impossible, and I think there's more than a few writers that could pull it off very well. But it's such a vast property that you would have to find the best pieces to incorporate in.
Here's how you do it. You also make it an Army of Darkness crossover.
Yes.
Because that's already in the Cthulhu mythos. And you just have Ash there, and that's that just smooths everything over. It's like, it's weird. Cool.
Oh yeah. I want to see a kaiju profile of you at WikiZilla. So that's actually a valid question. Like WikiZilla, there is no official WikiZilla mascot.
We used to have one years ago, kind of, but it never really went past to just its confirmed stage.
Titanium, I think your character is the closest we have to a mascot at this point.
Nah, I think we need a real, like, see, I don't, the idea of having a mascot isn't a bad one. Just wouldn't be named WikiZilla. The original name for the old mascot could still work, Wikira, for like I was thinking of like a being that's pure information and takes on the form of kaiju.
Yeah.
Do we want to send my boyfriend Sheldon Zilla, who did art for the Barclay video at one point? Do we want to send him on trying to design something so we can keep working on stuff and he just figures it out? Because he's been like being like, I want to do stuff for WikiZilla.
Design process is such a whole thing. The singular point is real.
God, I need to. Everyone that I know who's watched the live action One Piece is like, it's so good.
Yeah, like people are actually saying it's like actually a decent adaptation, which is kind of wild.
I mean, that's what we get for like Oda actually working on it.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like if all the other ones had the creator giving actual input, you know.
Oh yeah, and so I guess that's not a good sign for the Last Airbender Netflix, which the
Oh yeah,
creators
because
left.
they dropped out of that. They were like, "No, we don't like it," and dropped out. It's gonna be bad.
Like a couple of months ago as well. Like Adult Swim revealed like a sample of the footage for the Uzumaki anime as well, like the anime adaptation of Ito's work. It's literally just a motion comic, but full motion. It looks like the actual panels, but moving. And I can't believe how they did it, but it gives me high hopes for the rest of the adaptation because they have absolutely nailed the art style this time. The question is, though, one of Junji Ito's signature abilities is the page turner, and that simply is something that you can't really adapt into motion in the same way. You have to. It doesn't work in quite the same way, if that makes sense.
Can we get much higher, higher, so high?
Oh yeah, Netflix is doing an animated Ultraman film.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good. I mean, the art style looks fun, but I'll have to actually see it though to be sure.
I think Netflix should buy Project Ultraman from Chayo. I demand to see
Yeah.
it.
Let's bring back Ultraman Millennium, Ultraman Elite, and Ultraman Dark, because, like, why not?
Look, I saw in that trailer, like, there's a giant Coke bottle instead of a building. I need to see it. I like, undoubtedly.
I think that
Antonio, that comment makes me feel like I'm gonna get kidnapped. Antonio, you can't just say I feel like I'm gonna get kidnapped.
the asymmetrically permeable shield. It has like a billionth of a second that it collapses or something. That's a plot point in the first movie where that's what they do. They shoot him during that little brief window that it's down or whatever. We're talking about the Planet of the Monsters anime.
I watched the first one of that trilogy and decided this is bad, and I didn't watch the other two.
It wasn't bad. Everyone blows it out of proportion. It's not bad. It's just boring.
Yeah, which I think is the worst thing a movie can be. That's my actual opinion. If a movie is bad, but it's bad like actually and interesting, it's interesting because it's bad. Like it's like, oh, there's some baffling things here. If it's boring, it's objectively worse to me. Like you had your job was to make me feel something, and you have sucked all the feeling out of me.
Pikachu.
I checked the extra, like the highlights reel comments for the last stream we did, and it makes me happy that people still don't get the reference.
Then we're not talking about it.
Yeah, the one we're not going to talk about. It shows that time has healed some wounds in that respect.
Not even one comment explains what it is.
No one has
figured it out yet. Even though I am pretty sure that there is someone who probably knows what it is. I remember it from the live chat, but it's hilarious that no one has figured it out in the comments. The highlights.
Live chat knew what it was about, but like the people who are watching the highlights do not know what it's about.
Yeah.
One Piece
that
plus
piece of internet history.
So, City of the Edge of Battle was kind of cool. I thought so. I thought City of the Edge of Battle was probably the strongest of the three of the trilogy, but everyone else says that City on the Edge of Battle is the worst.
I think the problem with City on the Edge of Battle is the same problem a lot of the franchise has. Great ideas, really weak execution.
I think the problem with City on the Edge of Battle, what people get hung up on, is that there's no Mecha Godzilla in it. Which, true, but...
The King Ghidorah idea is neat. Okay, here's another opinion I have. I don't think the protagonist would have bugged me as much had I not already experienced Attack on Titan. Because watching the first movie, I was like, this is Eren Yeager, but worse, and Eren's already pretty bad. I think that was another reason that I didn't like it.
It's like, I think that of all the concepts in the series, King Ghidorah is the weakest in execution of the lot, but simultaneously one of the coolest in concept. Like the idea of just a character that just says, no, I'm not doing that to the laws of physics, and uses it in all kinds of weird ways, that's great. And I think that really suits an alien Ghidorah. But then he just lifts Godzilla in the air and screams in terror when Godzilla touches him, and then gets banished in a few hits. That's
like
all he does. It's a waste. It's like the number one thing that the Planet Eater violates in terms of story writing rule is show, don't tell. Because the final battle is basically just Martin saying, oh look, Ghidorah's draining Godzilla's energy. He's making it so he can't fire his beam, or his temperature's falling, and it's just data on a screen. And that's because nothing happens on the outside, really. It's just such a shame.
Godzilla's targeting the generators.
Yeah. The generators stop functioning.
The designs are fun. I never call him Godzilla Earth. I call him Grandpa Goji, because that's what he looks like. I have a figure of him behind me because he's a fun design. And I like the ideas presented in the books. Like, I like the idea of the apocalypse of Godzilla, like a Godzilla apocalypse.
That's such a good... We need more stories that are like, the world is falling apart, and you just go through the whole falling apart, and then it never gets better. The opening of The Last of Us, episode 1, where you actually...
normal. You see it fall to pieces,
Yeah, you actually see just everything just... That is so awesome, and a lot of stories deal with the aftermath instead of like the actual catastrophes, and so that's what makes the anime prequel novels so interesting.
Like, honestly, I feel like the anime prequel novel should have probably just been what the anime was.
What a controversial statement.
It's like, likewise, anime lore Hedorah, that's a cool interpretation of the character, that he destroys a bunch of stuff, but then he just disappears because his mission's over. He's done he's got what he wanted, and he just leaves. That's great.
And Gigan. All I need to say is anime Gigan.
I love the story they gave anime Gigan. It's great.
Like, that deserved to be one of those 3 movies, but it's not. So...
So Cold Gojira asks, wasn't the comic series Godzilla Cataclysm a Godzilla apocalypse story? And it deals with the aftermath, just like most things. Like the rest of The Last of Us, after the first half of the first episode, it deals with the aftermath of the apocalypse. Godzilla Cataclysm deals with the aftermath of the apocalypse. The anime prequel novels, those are set during the entirety of the civilizational collapse. That's really interesting setting that's not explored that much. I
think a lot of writers struggle to picture our end. Like, they can picture us now, and they can picture after us, but they cannot picture the set of circumstances that lead to our end.
Oh yeah, this is also an excellent example. Marvel Zombies. You experience the entire collapse, and it's just an amazing, engrossing series. The first Marvel Zombies 1 and 2 and Returns and whatever.
Yeah, like one skips past everything where it's already Magneto's gone.
Dead Days, all that. Those are
Dead Days good. And Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness do the collapse portion.
Yes. They're must reads in my opinion.
Yeah. Like those are the ones where they have stakes, and I hate. Like, a lot of I loved Marvel Zombies, every, run of it when I was younger. Now I go back and it's like, this is just kind of negative. It's after everything. It's like 1, 2, I don't really care for them in retrospect. But, still, Army of Darkness and Dead Days, where you see the collapse, it's like, there's stuff here. There's interesting things they're doing. And, ideas, in the Army of Darkness crossover, where Doctor Doom stays behind to get infected to save the rest of humanity. That's such a good idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah. We need that for Kaiju. That's what the prequel novels did. But, of course, they've never been translated to English, and they're stuck that way. That's also true average man. You never see any animals aside from the servum in the anime. So you don't know how the rest of anything adapted. That's true.
I mean, it's certainly kind of horrifying to think that, like, in becoming the dominant force on the planet, he's probably killed off everything that isn't directly descended or modified by his own genetics.
Except for the human.
Yeah, except for the humans who have somehow made it through.
That's because they got Mothra.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Mothra DNA.
No, it's not Mothra. It's the egg. Remember, they don't ever name Mothra a single time, and just show the silhouette of the butterfly.
Yeah, but we know, we know. But I do like that. That's a consistent canon thing across all timelines. It's like, yeah, Godzilla can't really mess with Mothra. Mothra just sticks. It's like this barrier of defense.
Yeah. It's like, hey, it's the character that stays in the lobby game, like the player on your team who never actually steps outside, like outside the spawn room or something, and just sits and just watches everyone else die.
It's the parent watching from the kitchen window.
Yeah.
Mothra doesn't have plot armor. She dies in like every single movie.
Yeah, but she always got a baby ready. It's like she's like, oh, I'll die, but then you're gonna get beat up by two babies. So who really lost?
Hey, I bet you're really happy for killing an elderly, dying adult. Now watch my literal infant children beat you half to death.
It's funny. I think the larvae have a better fight ratio against Godzilla than adult Mothra. It says, I see chat asking, my cats are fine. They're loud and annoying. You probably heard them earlier if you were here at the beginning, because one of them started meowing at my door. But yeah, that's everything for everyone. Bada boom, bada big.
See you later, everyone.
Thank you. All right, it's over.